The Okafor family, living the Four Cardinal Virtues. In the heart of Enugu, Nigeria, live the Okafor family, Mr. and Mrs. Okafor, devout Catholics, and their 3 teenage children, Chisom, 17, Ifeanyi, 15, and Amaka, 13. From a young age, their parents instilled in them the values of prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance, the 4 cardinal virtues that guide a Christian life. As the children grew older and faced real-world challenges, these virtues became more than just lessons, they became a way of life. Chisom learns prudence, the power of wise decisions. Chisom, the eldest, was a bright and ambitious girl who excelled in school. One day, her best friend, Adis, invited her to a party where alcohol and drugs would be present. Chisom was tempted if she didn't want to seem boring. But she remembered what her father always said. Prudence means choosing what is right, even when it is difficult. That evening, she called her mother. "Mommy, what if they stop being my friends?" Her mother replied, "Real friends respect your choices. God gives us wisdom to avoid what could harm us." Taking this to heart, Chisom decided not to go. Though Adis was upset at first, she later thanked Chisom, realizing how dangerous the party had been. Prudence had saved Chisom from a bad decision. Ifeanyi learns justice, doing what is right. Ifeanyi, the middle child, was passionate about football. One afternoon, during a school match, he saw his teammate cheat by pretending to be fouled to win a penalty. The referee believed him, and they won the game. Later, the coach praised Ifeanyi's team for their victory, but something didn't feel right. He remembered his father's words. Justice is giving people what they deserve. Cheating takes away another person's right. That night, he told his father what had happened. His father smiled and said, "A man of justice must speak the truth, even when it's hard." The next day, Ifeanyi confessed to his coach that the win was unfair. Though some teammates were angry, the coach respected his honesty and taught the team that true victory comes from fairness. Justice had given Ifeanyi the courage to do what was right. Amaka learns fortitude, facing fears with faith. Amaka, the youngest, loved singing and wanted to join the church choir. But she was shy and afraid of standing in front of people. One Sunday, the choir director encouraged her to sing at Massachusetts. As she stood before the congregation, her hands shook. Then, she remembered her mother's words. Fortitude means trusting God to give you strength. Taking a deep breath, she sang. Her voice was beautiful, and by the end of the song, the church clapped. She felt God's strength filling her heart. That day, Amaka realized that fortitude is not about never being afraid, it's about pushing forward despite fear. A family lesson in temperance. One evening, Mr. and Mrs. Okafor gathered their children and said, "Now that you've learned prudence, justice, and fortitude, let's talk about temperance." They explained that temperance is about balance, moderation in food, technology, and desires. To practice this, they introduced a "no phone after 8 p.m. rule to encourage family time. At first, the children complained, but soon, they realized something. They talked more as a family. They had time for prayer and reading. They became more present in each other's lives. Over time, they understood that self-control leads to a happier life. As the Okafor children grew, these lessons shaped them into responsible, God-fearing individuals. Years later, during Christmas dinner, their father asked, "What have the 4 cardinal virtues taught you?" Chisom smiled. "Prudence helps me make good choices." Ifeanyi added, "Justice reminds me to treat others fairly." Amaka said, "Fortitude gives me courage in difficult times." Their mother completed the lesson, saying, "And temperance helps us live a balanced and holy life." Together, they prayed, thanking God for guiding them through the 4 cardinal virtues. Years passed, and the Okafor children, Chisom, Ifeanyi, and Amaka, grew into responsible adults. The lessons they had learned from their parents about prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance remained with them as they faced new challenges in their careers, relationships, and faith. Chisom's test of prudence, choosing between wealth and integrity. Chisom became a brilliant lawyer in Lagos. She worked for a prestigious law firm and was known for her intelligence and honesty. One day, a wealthy businessman offered her a huge bribe to help him cover up fraud. If she accepted, she could buy a luxurious house and travel the world. But she remembered what her father had told her. Prudence is not just about being smart, it's about choosing the right path, even when the wrong one looks tempting. Chisom prayed and decided to refuse the bribe, even though it meant losing the case and facing pressure from her boss. Eventually, her honesty was recognized, and she was offered a higher position at another firm that valued integrity. Prudence had protected her from sacrificing her values for temporary wealth. Ifeanyi's test of justice, defending the weak. Ifeanyi became a teacher and soccer coach, mentoring young boys in his community. One day, he noticed that a wealthy student, Ton, was bullying a poorer boy, Amaka. The school principal ignored it because Ton's parents donated money to the school. Ifeanyi remembered his father's lesson. Justice means standing for the truth, even when it's hard. He confronted the principal and demanded fairness, even though it risked his job. The principal finally took action, and Ton was disciplined. Later, Amaka, the boy who was bullied, told Ifeanyi, "Sir, because of you, I believe good people still exist." Justice had given Ifeanyi the strength to fight for what was right. Amaka's test of fortitude, overcoming tragedy. Amaka became a gospel singer, using her beautiful voice to inspire others. She was happily engaged when tragedy struck. Her fiancé was involved in a fatal accident. Heartbroken, she felt like giving up on everything. One evening, she remembered her mother's words. Fortitude means trusting that God will carry you through the storm. Through prayer and the support of her family, she found strength in her faith. She continued her music and used her pain to help others heal. Years later, she found love again and got married, knowing that God's plan was greater than her pain. Fortitude had given Amaka the courage to move forward. A family lesson in temperance, finding balance in a busy world. As adults, the Okafor children became successful but busy. Work, family, and responsibilities made it harder to stay connected. One Christmas, their parents reminded them of their childhood lesson. Temperance means balance. Don't let work and success take you away from faith and family. Realizing they had been too focused on their careers, they made a new commitment. Chisom reduced her long work hours and volunteered at church. Ifeanyi spent more time with his wife and children. Amaka used her music to serve in charity programs. With this balance, they found peace, joy, and fulfillment. The legacy of the Four Cardinal Virtues. One day, Mr. Okafor, now old and grey, gathered his children and grandchildren. He smiled and said, "Did the Four Cardinal Virtues guide your lives?" Chisom nodded. "Prudence helped me make wise decisions." Ifeanyi added, "Justice taught me to stand for what is right." Amaka said, "Fortitude gave me strength in my hardest moments." Their mother held their hands and said, "And temperance reminded you to balance everything with faith and family." As they prayed together, they realized that the virtues their parents had taught them as children had become their greatest treasures as adults. And so, the Okafor family's legacy of faith, love, and virtue continued for generations to come. If you like this video, please subscribe, share, like and comment. Thanks.